game was so sloppy. Just
The football game?
It was just lots of sacks and
Well, it became a game in the second half.
Yeah, the first half was like just brutal.
Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack. Sports, life, and everything in between. Kicking off your Friday morning right here in the Mall of Abilene in our Potosi Live studio. We are brought to you by Lytle Land and Cattle, and our guests do appear on our Pest Patrol phone line. Hodge, Misty, Josh here, ready to get your weekend off. It is in the time of year where the weather is changing, a little bit rainy coming in. But Sunday is one of the more, in my opinion, depressing days of the year. I don't know if you call it depressing morning or depressing day, but 2 o'clock or whatever, 1 o'clock, whatever it becomes. Actually, I guess it becomes, it becomes
2 o'clock becomes 1 o'clock.
Yeah, all around the clock.
It is a bummer. I do not like this time of year with the time change.
No,
some people love it. What are your thoughts,
Oh,
Josh?
I can assure you, I know what he does.
I'm 100% daylight savings time.
Okay.
Here's the thing, and I've every I guess 6 months, whenever the time change comes, you have a lot of social media buzz about doing away with the time change, which I would be 100% for. The problem is there's just not consensus on which way to go. You know, like there's people that want the standard, people that want the daylight. Yes, sir, Hodge?
Yes, hands up, just trying to be polite. I've been in class all week, so I wanted to be polite. So you're a fan of what's happening Sunday or not a fan?
Not a fan.
Okay,
not a fan at all. No, I like the daylight savings time because, I mean, if I was a farmer or something where your whole life depended on being outside, I might have a different opinion. I don't know. I hadn't thought that through, but I have to work at an office, and I get off work at around 5 o'clock, give or take, and I like the sun to be out longer after work.
Yeah, by the time you get home, it's like dark.
Right. When the time changes,
we're like Aaron Rodgers into the darkness.
Okay. Yeah, well, apparently they're trying to come out of the darkness after last night.
He's trying.
We'll talk about that. But if Joe Posey's listening, or any of my farmer folks, KLGD1069.com are listening, let us know on that. What are you at? I know, like for like the golf professionals, Nagy and some of them, they're getting their life back. Because they're getting it back.
No one can come after work to go to the golf course. Right.
Nobody can say, no, I'm pretty sure I can get 2 more holes in. Is that like the dark, shady, and you're using your flashlight on your golf phone to try to hit your last shot. And the poor cart boy who cannot leave until
all of them
get So, of course, he's cussing you like, yeah, next time professional, they do get their life back at all that. So I'm curious to see, Joe Posey, anybody that are listening, let us know on the farm thing. I'm not a fan of it, don't like it, because the other problem is at about 6:45, you're not sure if you just watch the 10 o'clock news and need to go to sleep, or if you watched,
right post time change, it's like, you're right. Like at 7 o'clock, like, man, it's so late.
Then you fall asleep at 7, wake up at 1, and realize, well, I got my hours in. Now what I do? Anyway, it's happening on Sunday, whether you like it or not. I can't remember. Educate me real quick. So will people miss church or show up early? How does that?
You fall back, so it's an hour earlier. I guess.
So your clock says 11, or your clock says 10.
It would be.
It would be 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd be early
church
if you went.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So
it's very confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why it is so confusing, but it's terribly confusing.
Or is it just us? Like, are we the only?
Everyone else is probably idiots. Not that they needed any more proof, but that's like.
Yeah, but my picks were better this past week. Jamie Dobie says, math is hard, and so and again. The guess the perk you have is you're no longer a banker. You're still in the dollar industry, but math is hard.
Yes.
So anyway, but lots going on. It's been fun. I was wrong, which not as big of a shock to the world as most people would think with the World Series pick. We'll talk about that, but we'll dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. Couple good things excited about. Moy Garcia will be our guest picker today. Of course, from Potosi Live Screaming Goat, but also coming in to not only pick games, but talk about a menu for you and breakfast at Potosi Live as a Special Olympics breakfast is coming up. And Moy will be in here for that. And then our Big Country Electric Mindtown segment in the second hour, head coach from Sweetwater, Coach Russell Lucas, will join us on our Pest Patrol phone line. So let's dive into our Lawrenceville Headline Report. I want to start with shocking. It's not on there, but Caitlin Clark back in the news. Not so much her, but Christy Sides, the head coach of the Fever, was fired after a 20-20 season, rallied back, got into the playoffs. They were in the playoffs for the first time since 2016, and I believe she's number 7 total of WNBA coaches being fired. And I bring it up to this. I wonder if some of the franchises are moving in different directions because of the excitement, the money deal, the TV deal that the WNBA's brought. They think they can start, nothing against the people that were already coaches, but it could get better quality name coaches in the WNBA that you see in the college and the NBA.
No,
Is that wild to throw that out?
No, I don't. I think you're right on point. Honestly, I hadn't really thought of that particular point, but I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly what's happening. And I was not shocked that she got fired. I wasn't a fan of her really anyway. I mean, I think it was more the player than the coach when it comes to the Fever. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is just a baller. And so I was not shocked. And then, of course, there's been so many rumors about her, coach from Idaho getting thrown out of it. Iowa. Yeah, thank you. Getting thrown. It's fine. Yeah, potato.
It's not Texas. Does it really matter?
Exactly. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
So, her name getting thrown out, which I think that would be cool to see them linking up at that level. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it is interesting.
I just wonder terrible. I don't remember her name, but I would think it would be one of the harder things because as coaching in college, even at the WNBA level from the women, like Dawn Staley, to me, I think it's equivalent. Now, for the coach at Stover, I believe is her name, from Iowa, who retired and to go, she's retired, and so maybe I want to try it. To me, going from UConn or Dawn Staley at South Carolina to the WNBA, I think, no offense, professional basketball, and yes, it's gotten better, would be a step down than being at South Carolina.
Well, as far as the money goes, it has been. I mean, but that's, I don't know, new challenges. Some people rise to that type of thing. But if the money starts to be more competitive, then it wouldn't be a step down.
I guess, but you're still having to rely on where you land in the draft. What kind of money does your organization have to go get the person that you could add to a Caitlin Clark, that you could add to Angel Reese or whatever to get better, as opposed to South Carolina or UConn or Texas or even right with oh my goodness, the girl from Monterey, Leah Chavez.
Oh, yeah.
Leah Chavez. Tech and Texas are actually in the battle for her. You could still go do that. You can't do that if you're at the WNBA level. You've got to land whoever is on your plate when you can draft or available contract-wise. Just wanted to mention that because I thought that was interesting and see where the WNBA goes, because you actually now have media contracts. You have money that's happening. Is it even going to grow bigger? And now you've got this 3-on-3 league, and they're expanded the roster just to see if they can get Caitlin Clark in, because they know if Caitlin Clark shows up, now you're making money.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I also find it interesting that, you mentioned the differences in the professional ranks. You don't get to just pick your players, or some of the better teams in college get to do that. But also, I think with the way the transfer portal and things have gone, you might not have to coddle everyone quite as much. There might be some draw to that, because with the ability now for players to just be like, well, I didn't play enough this year, I'm out. Like if you're under contract, you can't do that. So there might be, because used to in college that wasn't the case. I mean, you went there, you were stuck. If you transferred, you had to sit out for a year. It was very prohibitive to do so.
And again, I don't know if anybody had WNBA leading on the bingo card on your Lawrenceville Headline Report, even though Aaron Rodgers played last night. But at the college level, you can now go, hey, crap, we've got this Misty Collier, and we think she's pretty good. you go to that donor and say, hey, I need an NIL deal to get her here.
Yeah.
Then you could go do that. You're not doing that in the WNBA or the NBA or the NFL or anything like that. You can still go grab somebody and say, hey, we need to create something. I don't care. Oh, you do. They were talking about last night. I was watching a game last night. Andy Penny's son play, and talking about how Texas softball just got us from Stanford to come to Texas for like 1.2 or something $1 million. You can go find it if you have those donors. But anyway, so Caitlin Clark in the news, not even in the news, but her coach is looking for a job. A couple other things. Jets last night, Aaron Rodgers 21-13 over the Texans. I was shocked. Vegas obviously knows. I was shocked that the Jets were the favorite, but I guess they knew what they were doing. Does this kind of makes me worried a little bit about how good the Texans are? They lose Stephon Diggs for the year to ACL. Nico Collins still out. But can the Jets turn this thing around, or was it just a random night, not on Broadway because they play in New Jersey? But
I was kind of shocked by how poorly the Texans looked and how just their season has just gone the wrong way. I mean, they looked like they were really like coming around, and I thought that they were going to be a team that made a push in the AFC, and it just that started, I guess, with that Vikings game, and has just not looked good. I mean, that was my takeaway more than the Jets being super impressive, was just that the Texans were not.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I don't know that this turns anything around for the Jets, but I do think with Adams, I mean, they obviously connected last night, and so we'll see. That's a big change that the Jets just got, and that chemistry. And so, I mean, we'll see what happens. And obviously, Wilson had some great two one-handed grabs. And it's just impressive to watch. And so they looked really good. They looked great on D. I mean, there were so many sacks last night. Really
8 sacks.
Both sides of the ball.
Yeah, CJ Stroud had a sack, or was sacked 8 times. The benefit that the Texans have, or they're in the division that nobody seems to want to win, and a quarterback that doesn't even want to play, and now is not going to play. Right. Be riding the pine.
It's funny how you decide to take yourself out of the game. You might just stay.
Yeah. Oh, you want out? Here you go. How about an all-expense-paid trip to the bench? And we're going to go to the retirement home and get that other guy that was already there, Joe Flacco. But again, all it takes is a Flacco, and you got a chance to win. Ask the Browns or a Jameis Winston in the bag. So that is our Lawrence Hall headline report again. Christy sides out as the Fever coach. Jets win 21-13 over the Texans. When we come back, the World Series is over. Unfortunately, the World Series is over. Baseball season is over. Lots to talk about, but maybe even going a little bit. How was Halloween last night for Misty and Josh? And have you ever been to New Orleans? Because, oh my goodness, Halloween is every day there.
And shout out, Misty was right. She picked the Dodgers. That's GL too.
Well, I did it for reasons unknown. Actually, I did it for reasons very well known.
That last game was so intense. Like, I was into it.
I don't want that, but
like, I was really, really into it.
I wanted the Yankees to win that game just because I didn't. What does that sound?
Is
that rain or a cart?
I don't know.
It's a cart.
Okay, I was like, oh my god.
All right. Good
Oh, dang.
And it's the world caving in.
It's a security guard. I didn't want baseball to be over, so part of that. But that inning was an epic meltdown.
Well,
I've never seen something so bad.
Well, and that's what they said. I mean, nobody's ever come from a 5-0 deficit like that to win it or whatever like that. I mean, you got to hand it to the Dodgers. Like, that was incredible comeback, that game.
Well, you had a lot of issues. One, Aaron Judge has a routine pop fly that he takes his eyes off of it. Literally, you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I know. It was wild.
And Garrett Cole, who is pitching really good, has the brain fart not to get to the first base.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There was just so many errors. It was crazy.
And honestly, they did it without the Dodgers did it with a Hey, Hurt, Shohei.
Yeah.
And
Well, he
Freddie
didn't do
Freeman-
anything.
Freddie Freeman, I need to look at it. But Freddie Freeman is Joe Flacco. Like
Seriously.
he doesn't age, he doesn't change.
Well, Otani, I mean, he didn't do anything during the World Series. Like all those role players really had to step up. But I'm like, that was what was really impressive. Just all those other guys stepping up, and the big dogs couldn't get it done.
Well, the problem is the big didn't get it done.
Right.
And Mookie Betts had a good series.
Yep.
But when you're Freddie Freeman and you become Tiger Woods of the 2000s, do you take Tiger of the field? Do you take home run or anything else? You take home run.
Did y'all see that moment, like with his dad, where he went over to the fence and like basically was just saying like, "This is for my dad." Like all the times it made me think of you, Josh, actually with the boys. But he was like all the times that he sat in the backyard and pitched the ball to me, and we hit balls, and he was like, "This is for my dad." It was really sweet.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed I'm in suit pants.
I was confused.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what was happening, but
So, getting to do ESPN Plus again tomorrow, Andy and I are, and we're got to shoot a little pre stuff today, and yeah.
So after this,
fun.
nobody see you.
Yeah. Tonight's Wiley game's huge.
Huge.
And if Sweetwater and Ted both win tonight, next week's game in Sweetwater will be pretty huge.
How is Lubbock?
Club Cooper, they're pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's a tough matchup.
Well, so here's the situation. Wichita Falls Memorial beat Lubbock Cooper last week. We really needed Lubbock Cooper to win because it would have just been Memorial had 2 losses.
Yeah.
Well, now Memorial has 1, Lubbock Cooper has 1. We have Wiley has none. So, because if Wiley were to lose tonight, now we all have 3 losses. Well, we beat each other.
Yeah.
So now it goes to tiebreaker. It's a point system. Well, you could go from 1st to 3rd like that.
Holly and Stanford next week too could be undefeated versus undefeated in the last game of the season.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun.
The bases are cleared and the baseball season is over after 5 games, and your World Series champions are the LA Dodgers for the first time since 2021, but the first time for a full season since 1988. And so their 8th World Series championship for the Dodgers. They are the World Series champs. Baseball season is over, which means free agency and all that stuff will start very soon. And it's already kind of talks of where people are going. But the World Series, the frustrating thing about the World Series from a Josh perspective, as a guy that I think I can read minds. I'm going to start reading this one. Ready?
Okay, let's go.
Josh is very disappointed that it's over, not because he was a Dodgers fan, not because he's a Yankees fan, but because he's a baseball fan, and now baseball is over. Number 2, disappointed, is that the 2 best games of the World Series was the first and the last, with not a whole lot of fun in between.
It was very blah. That's the thing.
Was that accurate?
Oh yeah, 100%. For all the fanfare that went into it, with the Judge versus Otani. Otani got hurt, so there's a little bit of a caveat with that. But like Otani didn't really have a star shining moment at all. Aaron Judge turned into Dak Prescott, and so that was kind of a dud. The 3 games in the middle were uncompetitive. 2 went to the Dodgers, 1 went to the Yankees. But then like you said, there was a walk-off grand slam, which is the fact that Freddie Freeman had a otherworldly World Series. And I was astonished at this, but there's always things like this that catch me with baseball. Hit the first walk-off grand slam in World Series history. I mean,
baseball's been around a long time, folks.
Yeah,
I mean, it's been around a long time.
151 World Series now, and they play multiple games. It's not just like 120 games. I mean, it's 4 to 7 every year. So that's a pretty incredible stat. And that game going back and forth, and then the walk off at the end there, and then really what happened, and it's kind of like, they say the rich get richer, and in baseball, being the only sport with no salary cap, those two teams are the two richest teams. They have media contracts that are in place and paying them lots of money, which the Rangers, and that just raises that bar, and it makes that even more pronounced now that these regional sports networks have collapsed in some markets. But the Dodgers, they showed how their depth was better than the Yankees. The Yankees, obviously have star power. We talked about Judge, but then Soto, Garrett Cole, Giancarlo Stanton is definitely in the declining phase of his career, but he put up some numbers this postseason. But then once you got past that first bit of their lineup, the back half of that Yankees lineup didn't really scare you much, and the Dodgers. Just their role players, their back half of the lineup guys put up big numbers, and that was the big difference in how that series went. And it kind of exposed the Yankees for what they were, which was just kind of top heavy.
So, what was your thoughts? I know that, of course, part of the always joke when watching sports, it's part of research and getting ready for Friday. But what was your thought of the World Series? You were the lone of us three that picked the Dodgers. What was your takeaway of the World Series?
No, I mean, I definitely agree with Josh. I thought it was interesting that, the two big names on both sides, of the ball didn't really do anything exciting in any game of the World Series, and had some costly errors at that. And so that was very interesting, and absolutely the role players really stepped up for the Dodgers. And I just thought it was really exciting. Obviously not in the middle, but game one, and of course the last game. I mean, didn't have a dog in the fight. Of course, yes, I wanted the Dodgers to win because I had picked them. But that last game, especially, I mean, you've got to give it to the Dodgers coming back from a 5-0 deficit. Absolutely insane. No other team's ever done that in a World Series, and with it being their 8th win, 4 against the Yankees, I just thought it was really interesting. And Freddie Freeman, had such a sweet moment with his dad, and kind of thanked him, about all the soft toss in the backyard, and just special. I don't know. To me, I really was happy that the Dodgers took it.
I thought it was interesting. Couple of takeaways from a viewer's perspective. Over 15 million had watched it as opposed to last year's 9.3. But of course, we didn't care because who was in it and who was winning it. But that was the most since 2017 series. The Dodgers were involved in that one too. The Houston winning that one. Of course, we all know about as I bang against the not trash can.
Yeah.
But some of the things I took away that I think will come out of this World Series is obviously Freddie Freeman's historical. I was joking during the break that when he went up to bat, you took him like you did back in the day. Everybody would say, do you take Tiger or the field in this tournament? Then it was like, do you take home run or anything else? I would still take home run and put that on the roulette table because he just had such a good series. But then you look at Mookie Betts had a good series, but you also go back to the guy that ripped the ball out of Mookie Betts' glove that got banned possibly for life. And I'm sitting there thinking, the people normally, and this could be the case, but normally the people that think it's a good idea to go, through the courtyard like Frank did on Old School, and getting kicked out of the game, and you end up in a tank that's not for battle. what goes through your mind to think that's the thing you're going to do? Even if you're so excited, I'm sure that I could see this, even your boys, and I'm sure you have this conversation, but like the conversation of, hey, or understand you can't do that.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous. And it was one of those things, as soon as I saw that, it was just, it's New York Yankees fans. I mean, it was like.
Well, then the other guy like grabs his arm. I'm like, that could have been a really bad injury.
No, it was dumb. I get being, like Steve Hartman, excited in the moment, and you're sitting there on the side, and the ball comes close to you, and you're going to try to catch it. I don't blame you for that at all.
Well,
that ball
here.
That ball was even in. That was in the stands. I mean, so it was completely.
But this ball was in play.
Well, I mean, it's still in the foul territory. I mean, but it was. I think the ball would have landed in the stands had Betts not, reached over and caught it. But
it was a robbery.
But that's not like. So if he interfered with them just in a normal kind of, I'm trying to catch the ball, I don't have a problem with that, at all. But grabbing him and trying to pull the ball away was a complete idiotic move.
Yeah, I can't think of that being a good idea of hey, people that run on the golf course, people that that again I mentioned get out of the stands and try to get on the field, whether it's a college game or a pro game. I just don't get it. But no, one of the things that was interesting, I sent the text to y'all. Again, I mentioned I was at conference training this week. But while I was there, one of the people from a co here in Texas, we were hanging out, and her cousin is Tommy Edman. And so she was like, goatee. I'm like, so that was not she didn't have a goatee, but goatee is in Tommy. So that was kind of cool that she had vested interest in it. But the World Series is good. And again, I think playoff baseball, the irony is none of them that I can recall were just great close games. It's always fun when they start getting that, the pressure, even watching it. I don't know if there's anything else like it. I mean, I guess maybe if you're watching a football game and you got a quarterback trying to go down and they need a touchdown and the last seconds of a drive, or maybe
like that Hail Mary we just saw that this last week go really wrong for one team.
Oh yeah,
we'll talk about that later, but that was very intense.
But even as a golf fan, I guess you've got somebody that got to hit this shot and they're down one or they're tied to win. But I would say there's just something about people being on base and having a chance to score, and you've got to get a hit. And you saw that when the Yankees, again, the 50th debacle.
Yeah, there's a meltdown.
And so I don't know. I never want anybody to lose their job. But we talked about it, was Dave Roberts in that position. And Dave Roberts is probably one of those guys, and I'm sure he listens to the Hodge Pack, he downloads, subscribes, rates, reviews, in that he had no reason to be judged, if you will. But see, he just seems like a really nice guy, cool guy, what all the things, all that. But will Aaron Boone survive this? And did he have a whole lot to do with the fact that Aaron Judge couldn't hit?
Well,
or catch a pop fly?
No, the pop fly was what was egregious. It was when you look at the replay, you could clearly see him take his eye off the ball, like he's looking at where he's going to throw before he caught it, which is a classic mistake, I know. But it wasn't even a situation that was going to demand a throw. I don't know.
Yeah, you just secure the catch and then look around.
But
yeah, you had one.
But I really thought when he hit that bomb, and he hit a bomb the night before, correct?
I can't. Well, now I'm trying to track it down. I thought he hit one earlier in that game, but yes, I mean he's got, like I said, he turned into Dak Prescott. He's got that monkey on his back now. It was already kind of there, even though they haven't really had great teams, around him, per se. That not performing in October thing, is hanging over him. And make a big error on top of not really putting up big numbers, it just kind of confounds that, and and that just leads to more pressure and more pressing. So if they get back in a situation next year, he's still gonna have to try to shake that, and it's pressure that I wouldn't understand. But to your point, the reason I like playoff baseball so much, and the reason why I think it is different than watching a football game, because yes, a game can get away from you in any sport early. So first drive of a football game, if your team, looks good or bad, as far as how that goes, you're like, oh, but in playoff baseball, it's so different than the regular season because you literally are just hanging on every pitch, and especially if someone gets on base, because in a playoff game, they're not going to leave starters hanging for too terribly long. You're going to use leverage arms. You'll do it in the 6th, 7th inning. It's not necessarily just wait to the 8th or the 9th.
Well, that's why I even said when Flattery went out early in Game 5, I said they're thinking he may need to pitch Game 6 or 7.
Right. I mean, and it's just like
And
there's
now
so
he can go to vacation.
yeah. And then obviously Buehler comes in to get the save. He's never got a save ever in his career.
That
but he
was
gets his
pretty
first
cool,
one. Because it's all hands on deck, and you want to, like every game matters so much that you make those pitching decisions like that, which makes it so much harder to score runs. So you can give up 1-2 runs in the first inning, and that is as stressful as a regular season game in the 9th inning. So that just makes it fun.
Yeah, playoff baseball, a lot of fun. Dodgers are the champs. When we come back, are the Aggies the best team in Texas?
Do y'all think that the Yankees will make it to the World Series next year?
Do I think what?
That they'll go back to the World Series?
The Yankees?
It's the Rangers.
I put it out there. Put it out there.
That the Yankees would go
Yeah,
back?
the Yankees will go back next year.
I don't think they will. I think you're about to see a lot of people leave. I think Soto will somewhere else.
I will say Dodgers staff.
If Soto goes somewhere else, then that team is way worse. I mean, because really that's Soto and Judge, and then after that, it's like I said, Stanton's over the hill, Rizzo's over the hill, Volpe plays a good shortstop, but he's not hitting like people thought he would.
Hey, do you say his name Venable?
Will Venable?
Okay. When we come back, I'm going to just make that.
We left that out.
Well, I'm just going to make it a headline part of.
Yeah.
When we come back, a headline. Jets win last night. Venable is going to try to turn things around. No, I don't think. But that's the other hard part to me. And I know we didn't, because I like what we talked about. But one of the things about Aaron Judge that I look at is it's very similar to the golfers that almost won a major.
And then they get that can't win a major tag.
They can't get a major tag, and they got to wait either a whole calendar year for the next set of majors to come up. So you go through and you didn't win the Masters, the U.S. Open, the British Open, or the PGA, and now you got to wait a whole nother time before those majors come back up. Well, now Aaron Judge has got to wait not only a whole nother year, but you got to play 162 games to get into the playoffs, go through the playoffs again, and try to get back, because I do think he now is that guy. And I would say in sports, if I were to rank the need to win a title or a major, I would say Aaron Judge. The golfers have diminished because most of them have won.
Done it, yeah.
I don't know where you put Luka.
He's got a long career left.
I think from a quarterback's perspective, there's some pressure. I think Dak is not there to me. Dak's probably there, but I think we'll turn their focus off of Dak. But I think people like Josh Allen
Definitely.
Yes.
is one of those that it's going to be one. Are you missing it?
The Yankees, to me, watching it, it looked like, how did y'all get here? Like the way that they played during the World Series, it was like there was somebody better.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we say about Tuesday night's election.
But yeah, but it was just wild. Like I literally thought there was no better team than the Yankees. Like they crapped the bed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just terrible. Yeah, that's another. Yeah, y'all. This time next week we will have a new president.
Well, we don't have one right now.
Well, yeah.
But that's neither here nor there.
We are the Hodge Pack, sports live and everything in between, brought to you by Lytle Land and Cattle. Hope everybody's having a great day. Be sure, a couple of things. Don't forget the Jets win last night, 21-13 over the Houston Texans. And speaking of baseball, Will Venable leaving the Rangers with the World Series on his hand, but heading to Chicago to try to turn around the 121-loss Chicago White Sox. Will Venable heading out to Chicago. Josh, before we get into college football, your thoughts on Will? Is it just a prime example of I want to be a manager, or is that a really good fit?
Well, I can't think anyone would think the White Sox were a good fit. I guess, money talks, getting to be a manager when he's been coaching 9 years, I guess is what I read. Don't quote me on that. But obviously, if you go into the baseball coaching ranks, that's your goal is to be a manager of a major league team. So there's sway that. What did surprise me is Bruce Bochy brought him onto the staff as the assistant manager, and the whole thought process that was kind of the consensus thought was that Bochy would do his 3-year contract that he signed, which next year would be the 3rd year. And Venable was there to just kind of be the manager in waiting and take that over whenever Bochy retired. And I thought that made sense. Now, what's been discussed behind closed doors there, we don't know. But I would be very hesitant if I was in that position to take a job with a dumpster fire situation that the White Sox are. Well, they just lost 121 games, and on top of that, they don't have a stud prospect to try to build around. They don't have some core pieces that are already there that maybe you can see. Okay, we develop a few guys, we sign up a couple free agents, we can compete. They are years away from competing. I think whoever takes that job, you're most likely going to be. Oh, it was just like the Rangers did when they hired now I forgot his name.
Bannister?
No, the guy that came in Woodward. It's like he came into a team that was definitely rebuilding. It was going to be several years before they won, and just as soon as they got to the point where they had kind of built the team and it looked like we were going to start trying to win some games, they fired him. Because it was just the way that seems to be the way that it works in baseball. And so I think that whoever goes to the White Sox is going to endure a couple of bad seasons. And if it starts going back the right direction, they'll lose their job and they'll bring in a new guy. So,
well, the new guy in Texas A&M, Coach Elko, is turning some things around. And not only is the new guy Mike Elko, but quarterback Mr. Reed took over, and
that was incredible. And why is that guy not already playing? That's what when I was watching that, I was like, we're praising the coaching staff for putting this guy in. You need to fire all of them that he wasn't already playing.
Exactly.
Well, we like to know anything else. There's always a reason why Wigman or a quarterback's id. I don't know, like some places, school board.
Yeah.
But here,
his dad gave him a lot of money. I don't know.
But so let's talk about college football. Last week was a pretty good weekend. Texas A&M, big win last week over LSU. Alabama did take care of Missouri. But I'm going to ask it. We saw Texas. We know the Texas, found a way to beat Vanderbilt. Are the Aggies the best college football team outside of Hardin-Simmons? We know everybody, ACU, all that at the division level. Are the Aggies the best team in Texas? We'll do some take it or trash it. Take it or trash it. Are the Aggies the best team in Texas?
I mean, I'll take that, especially after the showing against LSU, and Texas the last couple of weeks hasn't looked as good. So I will absolutely take that. As of right now, where we stand, based on what I've seen recently, I will take that.
Because I love the stuff that was on Twitter and text and stuff that Connor Wigman has entered the transfer portal like while on the sideline last week.
If you want to talk about like body language, I've never seen, and I feel bad actually for him because I mean no one wants to get benched, and then the guy that comes in looks like, well, I'm obviously never playing again.
Yeah, and you're fired.
And they kept showing him on the sideline, so they're like, woo, you know.
All right, somebody. All right, hey, Cameron, your job now is get shots at Wigman the rest of the night. Okay, ready, ready.
But they kept doing it.
I was like, stop it.
I
know. You know, like, because I was serious, like, it was comedy, but from my human side, you know, I was like,
and you're a dad. I'm like, get off my kid.
That's exactly what I was saying about his friends and family that are like,
you're humiliating him now.
And oh my gosh, he was like, like someone could have run over his puppy and he probably would have made
but this is what it reminds me of. If we see a gruesome injury, we don't keep showing that play. That was a gruesome injury for his family. I mean, like we know, we're aware.
And the memes.
Hey, oh, you remember your wife left you? Okay. Oh yeah, you remember your wife left you. Remember your wife left you. How you doing? How's your wife that's no longer with you anymore? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, your wife's not with you. Okay, good. Oh, hey, fantastic. Oh, she's already remarried. You doing all right? And that's what I felt like when they kept showing that poor kid. And then Reed's like, hey, I'm the new hero. New hero statue being made already.
Good for him though. I mean, oh my goodness, you talk about getting a chance and
was
running with it.
Electric.
Good for him. Like that was amazing.
It was hard. It was hard to believe that it was just the just snap flip of a switch, and now A&M's running away.
Yeah, you talk about the spark. He definitely.
So to take it or trash it, recency bias obviously would A&M looked very good against LSU, and Texas has been a few weeks that they haven't looked good. So I mean, I guess you have an argument that. I don't know that I want to take or trash it because it's a very difficult call.
Well, but here's what A&M finishes with. A&M has South Carolina on the road, which I think will be a tough. They're only 2.5 favorites.
Right.
I think it's going to be tough on the road. Coach Beamer does a good job there. Then you get a vacation break with New Mexico State. You go to Auburn, and then can you imagine? We talked about me being in New Orleans last week.
What I was going to like.
I was in New Orleans, landed. You want to know who was in town on Sunday night? Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
So I was curious, went online. Nosebleed was like $1,300 or something like that. I did not go. But can you imagine?
Are we sure that he didn't
go? Trust me.
Shake it off.
Yeah, you have no idea the bedazzled bling bling I had on the sequence.
I
anyway.
mean, we would love to see it.
Oh, yeah. Halloween. Trust me. Halloween was every moment at New Orleans. If they are be 7, 8, 9, 10 and 1 coming into at Kyle Field. You think that ticket for Taylor Swift was high?
On Thanksgiving Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
So the crash course, and this is what the SEC wanted. This is what should have been happening even when A&M left. They should have found a way to bring these two back together because of the amount of money that's going to be on that day on November 30th could have been there for the last X amount of years. So Texas A&M is big there. One of the things that we talked about, Texas Tech loses another close one.
Shocker.
I
mean, we're not shocked.
But they had it.
Well, but we're Tech. I mean, are you shocked? I mean, I hate it, but it's what they do. And I'm a Tech fan. But I mean, it's what we do.
All right, A&M. So you're not sure yet. You're taking it that the Aggies are the best team in. Of course, you can listen to the Aggies take on South Carolina this weekend.
Their recent developments, I'll take it.
Baylor, Josh. Let's talk Big 12. Baylor takes down Oklahoma State. I was talking to somebody yesterday that has a connection back to Oklahoma State, and they say pretty much Gundy's going to be there until Gundy doesn't want to be there.
I agree with that.
But there's got to be something wondering going on up in Stillwater. Hey, how do we turn that around? But Baylor, they're still under 500, but seeing some excitement and some positivity, as Jerry says, a lot of positivity happening in Waco right now.
Well, there is, and we talked about this. I guess it was last week. I can't remember specifically, but when you watched Baylor play, they were better than their record because they were in games against Big 12 competition that they found ways to lose. and eventually the ball bounces back your way when you're in that situation. Baylor has started running the ball more consistently, and that's really what's kind of turned it around. And it's you're not gonna end this season and feel like, oh, that was a great season. But I do think that they're going back in the right direction. And this weekend at home with TCU coming to town, it's a big rivalry game. So those games they're hard to call. But another win this week by Baylor, and that's just going to keep building that momentum, and might end up being bowl eligible. Who knows?
So we threw this out. We didn't get to it last week. We got about 2 minutes left. Who is right now? We're getting close to start having that first release of the top 12. Who is somebody outside of the top 12 that you think might find a way that you're surprised to say, hey, I'm calling out now. This team will be in the playoff. Misty?
I think I'm gonna go with Boise State. They have that hot running back and they've been looking good. So I think I would say Boise State and then Indiana would be kind of my two that I would say would make it.
Indiana 8-0, still trying to get a little respect. 13th outside of Clemson, outside of Iowa State, of course, outside of A&M and undefeated BYU. Notre Dame still 7-1. They still have Army. Army is mine because I think it'd be a great way to have Army. Navy, I picked them last week. I picked them in a lot of things, to cover, to win on our pick 'em. That was my miss. Maybe Notre Dame's that good. I don't. Their schedule benefits them now, but I'm hoping Army ruins that. I've got Army being the outside.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think it's very possible. There's a big game this week that we're going to try to pick the winner later of Pitt SMU.
100%.
And I think that's one of those scenarios that whoever wins that game has the inside on making the playoff. We still got all those SEC teams that are going to shake out and see which ones make it and how many they're going to put in. And that's part that I don't know with those outlier teams. How many SEC teams will like?
That's what and I know we only got 30
what
seconds.
What is even reasonable?
Exactly.
Well, and my question is going to be, and I've got less than 30 seconds to get this in, is what are the bowls going to be like for the ones that didn't get in? What is that going to look like? Who's going to sit out? Who's going to play? All those things. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Texas A&M football, again, don't forget you can catch them this Saturday as they take on South Carolina right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. When we come back, we will open up Misty's Bag, 6:30 Saturday night. We'll be back.
Yeah, because as these teams above play some more games, it's like who, because obviously you've got Ohio State and Penn State.
Ohio State still, they're not undefeated, right?
No, they lost to Oregon.
Yeah.
State means this weekend, so does Ryan Day, Ryan Day, which what sucks is Ryan Day won a lot of games. Won a lot of games, lost very few.
And I think he is very much on the hot seat.
What did y'all think about my Richard Simmons costume?
I thought Screech was awesome.
I looked hideous though. Like, I don't think people would have known it was me.
No.
Like, I feel like I did a good job.
Oh, I think you were definitely slow to go.
But let me tell you, you gotta be, pretty confident to wear that. Because when I put it on and looked at myself, I was like, oh dear God, like this is really bad. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for it. It was the wig and those shorty shorts. They were like definitely like all up in my business. What were your kids for Halloween?
Nothing.
Nothing? You didn't go?
They went to the church festival on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Did not dress up.
Are they just not real into it? Y'all should have come to Lone Star. We should have planned better. That would have been fun.
Yeah, we just hung out at the house.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about trying to go somewhere. I mean, we don't have neighbors, so it's not like.
Yeah. Well, if they do,
And
we'll
Molly
have to
just
think about
suddenly
that.
got to this like, and you know, junior high, she's 6th grade.
Yeah, it's
You know, it's like if your crowd is doing something, then maybe you
Yeah.
do something. But if they're not, you're cool. You know.
well, because all of Colin's like little friends that Molly knows. I wish I would have thought about that. I just assumed y'all plans, but yeah, if they're doing something next year, we definitely need to.
we
Because
just sat at the house.
Obviously, Lone Star's always
Yeah.
fun.
I'm gonna tell you.
I used to love it over there.
Yeah, it was fun.
I actually love like giving the Halloween candy and,
Yes.
and like
Seeing all the costumes and stuff.
harassing the children.
How many triggers you have?
None.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If I would have thought, I would have texted and said,
And all,
come
and
to
all
Lone
my
Star.
neighbors, like we have 2 neighbors that are fairly close that we're friendly with, and I thought, maybe we could like
You're not friendly enough for $20 bag candy.
no, but like our house, they live well off the road behind
Right.
gates, so I thought, well, we could jump on him and drive across the road, but then, it's like.
Yeah,
I do like it, but sometimes I don't. When we're 1/8 of a mile off the road, and so you're less likely to just like, I'm gonna swing by there and see how they're doing. Or if you live in a neighborhood, someone can just pull in your driveway and say like, hey, what's happening?
right, exactly.
Well, I'm telling you, we went to go eat, and then I came back to just swing through a little Halloween get together that some people were having in Fairway.
Mhm.
It was between 8:30 and something like that. You could have. Unfortunately, it's not. It came out bad.
Unfortunately, none.
Fortunately, it's not a real game. But like, if you were playing Grand Theft Auto, you could have had as many as you wanted.
Oh, yeah.
Because there were people everywhere, and not only there, but your people that were over 10 were very much out there. And
Yeah,
I'm not talking over 13 or 14. I'm talking
yeah.
they voted.
Yeah, there
And I
were
hope they
definitely.
voted right.
I did see a lot of older kids.
That is one of the things that used to just.
It
when people
doesn't
were-
bother me.
What?
The older, because I don't know. I'm like, well, at least
No,
they're
no,
not
I
doing
don't care that.
anything wrong.
I'm
but
talking,
No.
but that doesn't bother me either. Now, adults trick or treating.
That was what I was
Yeah,
saying.
that
There was
bothered-
one
Now,
time.
adult Halloween parties or whatever. That sounded weird. Not adult Halloween parties. That sounded real weird.
I got you, but I want.
Okay. So,
I almost pulled it.
hello, morning.
morning.
How are you? Good morning.
How
Good. How
are
are
you,
you doing?
What's up, Hodgie?
Okay. Pretty good. So I pulled in over here on this side, and then I'm digging that trench.
Oh.
By the time I make it all the way around, so I just parked and ran over here. So
Oh,
I got my steps in.
Well, I wasn't real sure a lot of the where the parking really was because it's like they're moving
Yeah,
their spots.
I know. I told Josh I came in kind of on 2 wheels, and then I was like, oh crap, I can't go that way. And then I went another way.
Yeah.
There was a guy in the parking lot, like just parked, and I thought he's probably like, girlfriend, slow down.
No, I felt like I was gonna be late, and then
Oh no, you're
I
good.
just took a quick little jog.
Ooh, welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between, rocking and rolling right here on your Friday, November 1st. Couple of headlines. Jets win last night, 21-13. Will Venable is leaving Arlington, heading to the south side of Chicago, getting ready to be the manager of the Chicago White Sox. 121 loss, Chicago White Sox. Misty, last night, we were talking a little bit during the break. What was your Halloween night like?
It was great. Colin's and her little friends dressed up. We had some friends join us, and our neighborhood usually goes all out. So it was good. But we're quick trick-or-treaters. Like, you've got some families, it's still like 9 o'clock, they're out there, not us. We're like the grandmas. I mean, it's like we're hitting up, 3 streets and done. So, I mean, we were back to our house probably 7:15, 7:30. And so it was great. They had a great time and saw a lot of interesting costumes. And so good night.
What about yours, Josh?
We did nothing. Just sat at the house, watched a little bit of Mavericks versus Rockets, back and forth with the Texans versus the Jets. No candy. It was cool outside, so we had to fire up the patio heater.
Weather started to get that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking tonight, got games to call and all that. And I'm like, not perfect, but I really like just maybe some pants or khakis or whatever. And then the pullover. The one pullover layer to me is the crisp, nice weather that I'm happy about. So anyway, yeah, good stuff. We'll talk more trick-or-treating if we can. But we got a lot of stuff to cover. But most importantly, one of the things that we are doing right now is Misty's back.
This scare is just perfect for Halloween. Speaking of mulligans, so tomorrow they've got a golf tournament going on, a 4-man scramble. Registration starts at 12 with a 1 p.m. start, $100 per team. There's going to be a cornhole tournament. All of this goes to benefit Mission Thanksgiving. And so mulligans always, doing good and giving back to the communities. Get on out to 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive. Sign up. Get out there to support mulligans and Mission Thanksgiving. All right, y'all. I am still on. I just love this book. We've talked about it. I've been in this book for a couple of weeks. Got Your Answers by Mike Greenberg. And so I'm going to take another one out of this book and ask y'all today, who are the top 10 sports prodigies according to Greeny?
LeBron James.
I'd say LeBron, Serena, and Venus.
Only one of the sisters made the top 10.
Then I'm going to say it had to be Serena.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tiger Woods.
Yes.
All right, so we've got, who'd you say, LeBron? I'm
Yeah.
sure LeBron, Serena, Tiger. What about Simone Biles?
No.
Bryce Harper.
Yes.
Oh,
He's
good.
number 10.
Prodigies. That means you were good from what we call the get-go.
Yes.
Wow.
This one's hard. So there's a couple people on here like, who are they?
What
sports?
But I'm sure, I don't know who they are.
What chapter is it?
I wish I could help you, but I can't.
Lance Armstrong, just kidding. He rode a bike at a young age before he started
He
doping.
probably did.
Yeah. So, are there any of them that you do know that you could give us a sport with?
I'm not going to give y'all any hints.
Wow.
There is one that Josh should have already said. That's a hint.
Aaron Judge? He's not a pro.
No.
That Josh should already have said?
I mean, I feel like.
Well, now you put me on the spot.
Yeah.
Climbing it up.
I'm assuming it's a baseball player.
Possibly.
Alex Rodriguez?
No.
Shohei. Show me the money. What sport does he play? Obviously baseball.
Obviously.
Nolan Ryan.
No.
Probably wasn't much of a prodigy. He's just Old Man River chasing down.
Look this other person up while you're looking, 'cause
Trying to think of people
I just don't know.
really.
I mean, I don't think Jordan Spieth. I mean, he was good, but I don't know if he's considered a
No,
prodigy.
He's not.
No.
We got people texting me. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
what
give
did
the
they
answer.
say?
I don't know. Corey Jenkins is agreeing with me on the zip.
Phone a friend.
Ronaldo,
No.
Strasburg.
No.
That was his guess. Is there any other tennis players? I would think tennis. Would
I
be
don't know. 'Cause
Coco
again,
Gauff.
Some of these people
Coco
I
Gauff.
don't know.
This is a well thought out segment.
Yeah.
We're really good at
Well,
it.
she's not giving us any hints, Josh.
Baseball player.
I'm trying to think of it. Baseball.
Did
player.
you not hear? There's 122 World Series. You know how many people?
Yeah.
Babe Ruth.
When I say
Babe
it, you're
Ruth
going
is
to be
a-
like, dang.
Babe Ruth is a little bit.
KG.
Oh, King Griffey Jr.
You see?
That's a
And
good
see,
hint.
Josh is like, crap.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
Bron James.
Oh, no way.
Just kidding. Bronny is nowhere near that. All right. So how many have we guessed, Misty? Because
I think y'all have only gotten like 5.
So we've
or
already
6
failed the
right.
test.
Y'all have missed the number 1.
we haven't got the
Y'all
number
don't
one.
even have number 1 yet, according to Greenie.
Okay, what sport does
Hockey.
he or she, Wayne Gretzky?
Yep.
See, here's the deal. Okay.
I know, and I know we're not hockey people, but believe it or not, he has him 1, 2 goes to Tiger, 3 Serena, 4 LeBron, and also I'm kind of surprised that y'all don't know number 5, big Olympian.
Phelps.
Yep.
I have a hard time thinking of Olympic sports. I'm sorry. It doesn't. I have only so much bandwidth. I can't expand.
Well, I mean, I don't have a problem. Honestly, I was really thinking more Olympians than maybe some of the others, or baseball.
There's another hockey player.
Baseball is very
On the
difficult.
list.
It's very difficult to.
Is it Overcheck?
Crosby?
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Bing Crosby.
Yes, he sings Christmas songs.
Sidney Crosby.
He sings Christmas along while playing hockey. It's really good stuff. So
Oh, y'all won't get this chick.
who's
She's
that?
a gymnast. I had to look her up. A Romanian gymnast.
Oh well.
yeah,
Nadia. I'm not even gonna try to butcher the name.
Nadia even getting closer.
Not even.
Not even getting closer.
Yeah, not even gonna try.
Nadia getting close to
Alright.
guessing it. So those are the prodigies. So run them in order again. We've obviously this.
There's another baseball player that is number 9. So top 5: Wayne Gretzky. We got Tiger, Serena, LeBron, Michael, Phelps. Then 6 goes to Sydney. 7 KG. 8. Not even gonna say her name. Nadia. Number 9 we don't have, and number 10 Bryce Harper.
All right, so who's
Number
9?
9's a baseball
Number
player.
9 is a baseball player.
That's the last one we don't have.
That's the last one.
Oh, they're all.
Well, the fact that we went back to Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah, and was it Mickey Mantle?
No,
I mean, do you know if it's a relatively
it's the initials are BF.
BF?
Baseball player BF. Benjamin Franklin.
BF. Best friends.
Best friends.
BF. Big Frank Thomas. I have no clue, Misty. Who is it?
Yeah.
Bob Feller.
Oh well, that's old school.
Very.
A lot of reasons why
Born
we
in
didn't get that.
1918.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that's a difficult list.
That,
because-
I know. That's why I wanted to ask
Well,
it, because I thought it was very difficult.
And really, there's only the gymnast there that you don't even know who it is, and you're reading it. So
Yeah. No.
But I never would have guessed Bob Feller because I mean, when you look back in time, it's like, how do you know that someone was a prodigy if you weren't like around to see it?
We weren't thought of. What do you think of the order of the list?
hold that thought. Hold that thought. In fact, tell you what, we're going to go to commercial, come back because we want to be sensitive of y'all's time. We'll be back right after this.
Is that station identification?
Yeah.
That is your touchstone.
Weird. Normally it's like at 8, isn't it?
It has to be before it goes 5.
Yeah. But I feel like normally it's like right at 8.
Hey,
So
Jeff.
it felt kind of weird today.
I'm
in the
good.
spot.
What's up, man?
Hello, Jennifer. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Tired. Same. Yes. I feel that.
Looking at it or feeling it. Oh my gosh. We had like 15 teenagers in my house last night.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't
No
hear
wonder you're
you.
exhausted.
We got guys working outages right now, so I
And
don't
I
know.
told them all they had to be on.
And I'm at the radio show. Right?
Yeah, that's tough.
You might touch
I
base.
was like, and they're all freshmen, so they can't drive.
Oh, that makes it even harder.
I'm like, come on, parents, like.
Get your people out.
Pick up your kids.
Oh,
And then there's
good.
the random, you have to take me home.
How about you walk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far are you? I'll give you a flashlight.
All right, so Moy, y'all are up. We'll come back and do picks next. When are you leaving?
When Josh leaves.
When are you leaving?
Yeah.
do you want me?
Josh and I will share that mic. So go here.
Morning, Ryan.
Hello.
Yeah, Josh and I usually will stand just over here.
I'll just stand.
When we do, yeah, you can stand or sit, whatever is your preference.
We're not going to be on very long, I'm assuming, right?
At least an hour.
15 minutes
Max.
max.
I have a meeting at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
Show ends at 9.
You'll be good.
Yeah, show ends at 9. Show ends at 9, and I've got to be at ACU at 9:15. So you'll be fine.
Hauling butt out.
Yeah. You are going to be hauling.
In the rain, too.
I know.
I like fishtailed, but
That's
not even
awesome.
fast.
Oh,
so
no.
beautiful.
Yeah. That's
It's because of the weather.
Yeah.
Like it was warm and now it's getting chilly. And
Yep.
it's like, this is when everybody's
It's slippery.
slipping around everywhere.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh. I'm freezing.
I know my jacket that I wanted to wear is sitting on the back of my chair, but I thought it was in my back seat.
Oh,
And I didn't have time to care because
Yeah.
I was already so late.
I didn't have time to.
So I was like, I'm just gonna be cold. It's
Yeah.
gonna be fine.
Well, even if you had a jacket, it's usually pretty cold in here. For me, anyway.
It's not as bad.
They're
as I
usually
thought it was
okay.
gonna be. Radio stations are always freezing cold.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm cold natured.
Me
So
too.
I
Me
make sure
too.
I have a jacket
All the time.
all the time.
I know. That's why I always have one laying in my back seat.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
I can thank my mom for that.
As he's
Yeah.
stripping.
as he's taking.
I know.
Your shirt really matches your outfit.
What are we highlighting?
Oh, I thought you were bringing all the notes.
Yeah, because I'm hoping you give me a little
I'm pretty
info.
sure we voted you the chair.
I'm hoping you're
Yeah.
giving me a little info. I know what I'm doing in about a week.
was just
Don't
gonna pass
any
it
of
on
us
to
know
you,
what we're
Because
doing.
as of right now, I don't have a clue.
We
Because you're the good, great note taker person.
do you remember how my Zoom was recording the call last time? Jeanette texted me and she was like, "Can you send me those minutes?" And I was like, "Let me dictate them first."
Uh-huh. Thank you, technology.
It picked up all kinds. Yeah,
But I'm sure it
AI
wasn't
was like summarizing things that weren't even needed. Yeah. It's a mess. Plain and simple. The cause. I'm going to let you talk on that.
I'll kind of talk a little bit about my
Talk
testament.
about the heart. Yeah. And then, I don't know.
And then
We would love to
get the
have,
details up.
and that tables are still 500? Or do we just say come?
Come.
Okay.
I think at this point it's just because we're filled up on the bottom. Almost. I think we have like 2 or 3 tables upstairs.
Good. Try to get
That's if everybody that paid for a table shows up. You know.
Or if they
If
actually
you want
take the
people
table.
at the event, you like to get the money.
I'd rather have them there than have
Having,
the money.
Yes.
having butts in the seats at this point is better.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Because I
Just
mean,
because of
at
what it
any
stands
event.
for. Yeah. It's like, hey, I really appreciate your donation, but I wish y'all would have sent somebody or showed up.
That when it
Yeah, because you have a
happens,
table that's
yeah.
just empty and then it just
Yes.
makes
and then
it
people
not.
come and they're like, nobody cared about this, but I came. But
Yeah.
really, there's a lot of people that cared. They just-
Yes.
And it's the front row tables.
Yeah.
You're like, the ones you
It
gave
is a-
away.
Hey, do you wanna move
You're
up?
like, oh,
It is always the big wig that don't end up the money. Yeah, like,
yep. We've done this a few times. It sounds like all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been to lots of events. We have. That even happens like the day of Calabarans. You're like, we'll have 4 or 5 people that just are like, hey,
We're not gonna make
keep the
it.
change.
Yeah.
That nobody's coming. You're like, cool. Like, we've already ordered your food. We've ordered.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, because they just went $38 a plate for a steak dinner.
Right. And then those were good this year. Really good. When is Guardian Games? I'm gonna kind of talk about that a little bit. It's June 7th.
It is time for hour number 2 for the Hodge Pack, brought to you by Coleman County Electric. We're glad that you're with us. We are doing things a little bit different.
Coleman County State Bank.
What did I say?
Electric.
Yeah, hey, I've got outages going on. Coleman County Electric Co-op is a great co-op out there in Coleman. We appreciate taking care of their members. But Coleman County State Bank, yes, I got outages. I got all the things. Yeah, there you
You were
go.
trying to call her out on the Iowa thing earlier, so.
Hey, I don't. Well,
So bam in your face.
no, that just means we were both wrong. But what's not wrong is the people that are in the studio here at the Potosi Live Studio. Very fitting, joining us in studio, Roy Garcia from a lot of places. He could say from Potosi Live, from Scream and Go, Boiling Tales, Bill Gates Tailgate, special. I mean, the list goes on and on. And a dude that I think works harder than anybody in the country. Moy, we appreciate you being there this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Woohoo. We got a little shout out there from Chloe, and then Jennifer's joining too. Jennifer, how are we this morning?
I'm fantastic.
All right, there you go.
She's
All right.
surviving 14 teenagers in her house from last night's Halloween party.
I was listening y'all talk about Halloween earlier, and I was like, y'all don't even know what Halloween really is until you come to my house.
Well, I would think you should thank us for the escape.
At 7 in the morning, yeah.
The-
Can you see my face?
No, but Facebook Live can.
Okay.
And so,
Oh, I forgot about Facebook Live.
hey, that's okay.
It's all right.
No, feel free to download, subscribe, rate, review. We appreciate them. But no, we are going to get to picking some football games. But y'all have a big event coming up out at your place at a different timetable. Hours are normally not at this time. But talk about it. What y'all got coming up?
So we have Breakfast with Champions for Special Olympics. It's something that's dear and near to my heart. It is early in the morning, so it's make it a little bit difficult for people to drive out to Potosi.
No, it doesn't,
That kind of
folks.
deal.
You got gas.
Yeah,
Good out there.
it's a beautiful view that early in the morning, so it makes it worth it. But it really does stand for something that's, like I said, dear and near to my heart. With Tucker, my youngest kiddo, being diagnosed with global development delay, he's nonverbal autistic, that kind of deal, and that's kind of what drove me and to participate in the Special Olympics altogether. Not that I don't try to give back to the community as much as I can, but this is something that definitely touched heart and led me to kind of be a part of it. So, yeah.
So talk a little bit, Jennifer, about or what that day is going to look like, what that breakfast looks like, and for those that are listening that want to be there because not only for the passion that people have, because you want to talk about champions, the dudes that compete in Special Olympics are champions. Just a little bit what's happening that day.
So that morning is a really special morning. If you've never been, you should definitely come. We're going to be getting to listen to the athletes themselves, talk about why they're there, their testimonies. They're very proud. If you've never been to a Special Olympics event and seen them compete, you definitely should. But you can see their energy at the Breakfast of Champions, and it's just so inspiring to see. We'll be speaking on a few events that'll be coming up, I think.
Yeah.
During that time, we'll have some really awesome keynote speakers, some real special MCs going to come in and help us out that morning.
No. We'll see about that.
Big shout out to Ryan.
Big shout out to Ryan Holmes. Thanks for that.
And your itinerary is coming too.
Yeah, our itinerary is
Yeah,
coming.
we'll let you know what you're going to.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I have winged a lot of things, so it wouldn't be the first time. So
anyway, you can come and participate by just coming, showing up. We've got tables downstairs, upstairs.
We
breakfast.
do. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is, we kind of touched on that just a little bit, that, the fundraising and the money part of it is important, but the awareness of what this event brings and kind of what stands behind Special Olympics and what it does for the unified partners, the parents, the athletes specifically, and kind of that kind of deal. So if you don't have money allocated to donate or to buy a table or whatnot, just show up, just so you can see these athletes speak, talk, show how passionate they are about the whole event, and we'd rather just have you in the seats than worried about paying for the seat. So,
yeah, come hang out, enjoy. There's no doubt if you've had food, I don't know why, food, whether you eat it at night or for lunch, breakfast is going to be good too. So I can guarantee it. You don't want to miss it. Again, what's the date?
So Miguel's with Trista with Miguel's is going to be she's going to be the breakfast sponsor.
Okay.
So they're going to be providing all the food for that. So I appreciate that shout out. But Miguel's also has very fantastic food.
Right.
Trista's very involved with this event as well. So
But Potosi is offering up his full staff to come and help service, and we know how awesome the service is at Potosi Live. So
And
you sell yourself short on that.
Yeah, so November 12th, right?
Yes,
November 12th. Registration starts at 7 a.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 7 a.m. You can get up, you can go hang out, great food, and we're going to get to picks because I want to be sensitive for everybody's time and those that didn't want to be on Facebook Live, they're going to be on Facebook Live. This is a prime example of what Abilene does in this community. You've got another restaurant bringing their food to another restaurant to support a great event, and you can do that as well. Get your booty up. You're already going to fall back and have an extra hour of sleep by then, so you'll be used to it. So be sure to get out to Potosi Live, November 12th. We'll keep talking about it. We'll post it on our Facebook as well. Misty always does a great job taking care of that. So November 12th, 7 o'clock, and it will be a great day to support some stud athletes as well as a program and get information for you a little bit educated on. So let's dive into the picks. Again, it is time for our Fat Mat Roofing Pick'em Challenge. Great opportunity. A lot of games this week. Josh had a hard time getting 10 because even though there's not a whole lot of ranked versus ranked, a lot of pretty interesting games this weekend. And we'll start with the first one. Lubbock Cooper coming to Wiley tonight. Big game for the Bulldogs as Memorial beat Lubbock Cooper last week. Potential Wiley wins. It's a district championship. Well, you got to go beat Plainview. But district championship, you put yourself in a great seat. If you lose, this is an El Paso Bowl. Loser could be going to El Paso for by district. So a lot of parameters tonight. It's different than the ACU game I'm calling tomorrow. I've got to be biased. I'm not going to be biased here. I've got Wiley winning.
So do I.
Yes, it's a Bulldogs.
Go Wiley Bulldogs.
All right, there you go. All of us are going for Wiley. College game day going to be at Penn State tomorrow. I'm sure the Whiteout will be there. All the things Ohio State. We were talking. Ryan Day has won a lot of games, but unfortunately, his job seems like he's on the hot seat. Some people don't like success, but some people think success needs to be more than what it is involved. Michigan wins and national championship. This is a tough one. I like Kenny Peel. Coach Franklin, the coaches had. I always say he looks like Ken and Peel are the one, which Ken and Peel is actually going to be the guest picker tomorrow for College Game Day. I'm going to pick the Nittany Lions, even though Ryan Day has my name. I'm going Penn State. Misty, who do you got?
I'm also going Penn State. I think they'll be at home on fire, so I'm hoping that they can pull it out.
I'm actually I don't want to say this, I'm reluctant, but Ohio State. IU all the way, by the way. Where's IU on this? I've got a daughter up there.
Yeah, they didn't make the list.
They're going to be playing Ohio. They're going to be playing Ohio in a few weeks, and so
it'll be important depending on what this game happens too.
So,
Josh, who'd you say yet?
I've got Ohio State.
Ohio State.
All right, Ohio State. Misty and I are the Lone Rangers. Texas Tech, rough one last week at TCU. They're going to an even tougher place on the road. No offense, I like Coach McGuire. Looks like Moore may try to play again, but I'm going Cyclones.
Yeah, same. And I'm a Raider fan, but I'm going for my numbers this week, so I got to go against the Raiders.
Heart out the window.
Yeah, we done.
Same. I got Iowa State.
Moy, who do you have?
Here's the deal. I had Iowa State, but I'm just gonna throw it out there and bring it to them and just will it to them. Texas Tech.
All right, Texas Tech needs all the help they can get. All right, so Louisville, Clemson. Clemson's still trying to have that one loss against Georgia. Clemson's still trying to a collision, if you will, to eventually Miami. This one will be a tough one. It'll be at Clemson. There's no way I was not going to go with Clemson. I've got Dabo and Clemson.
I've got Clemson also. I just put this game on here to throw you a bone.
I appreciate it.
I'm also throwing you a bone. It's Clemson.
I had Clemson, but I'm going with Louisville now. So I'm just going to cut.
Yeah, hey,
maybe the opposite.
Moy literally is doing what Kirk Herbstreit does every week. Or if they're all the same, he says, no, I'm out.
It's not like I ever win these anyway. So.
I'm still in last place. And every grade that Molly gets older, I find out less smart I am. All right, so Texas A&M, South Carolina, again, a night game. You can hear that right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. Again, South Carolina is going to be a tough place to go. Coming off a high, if you will. You've got Reed. Now, Marcel, Reed, you're no longer the guy coming out of the bullpen. You're not longer the guy coming off the bench. You are the guy. And I've got Texas A&M, keep it going. And part of it, because I think they'll win. The other, I want the collision course for Kyle Field on November 30th.
Same here.
Yeah, same. It's A&M.
All right, so now I know who Moy's picking. He's picking South Carolina. Who do you got?
Well, I'm going to switch it up again. I'm going to go with A. I do want to see that matchup with A&M and Texas. And just a quick plug, we're going to be doing a watch party over at for that. So.
Okay, there you go. Book it, November 30th. There you go. Tables there, but you're going to already be there on November 12th. So you'll get breakfast and lunch all in the month of November. The next game, Pitt and SMU, for the record. I want you two to look. You two. I have not picked, so it's not waiting to see what you got. I'm just not 100% sure. Pitt, SMU, who do you got?
SMU.
Pitt.
SMU.
Y'all look at me like I know anything about college football.
She just knows she has 14
I know.
kids. She has 14 kids, not of her house, and she's a fan of Indiana because the kids there. SMU and Pitt. I want SMU to win, but Pitt also adds chaos because now you have Pitt, Miami, and Clemson all in the ACC but I am going to go SMU because they are at home. All right, now to the NFL.
You skipped the TCU Baylor game.
Oh yeah, well there you go. TCU Baylor. Good job, Josh. That's why you're in charge of the pick'em. TCU and Baylor. Baylor on the roll. I've got Baylor.
Yeah, I've got Baylor too.
Yeah, I've got Baylor.
I would have legitimately said Baylor.
Well,
Without
Josh
guessing.
is right next to me, and he's a lot bigger than I am. So I'm gonna go Baylor.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So I skipped it, so I'm glad he's got a lead. All right, so Bears and Cardinals going to the NFL. Kyler Murray and him still trying to battle a little bit for that NFC West, such a literally wild west of a division right now. Kyler Murray's just so fun to watch. I still think it's like,
So explosive.
I mean, he takes off running and like he reminds that.
It's in fast forward.
Yeah,
Like, it
it-
looks
it-
like he's in fast forward.
It's like his legs are moving and his body just feel obligated to go with him. And a lot of issues still with the Chicago Bears. We talked about the stupidity of, hey, we're gonna kick your butt. Oh no, I'm still in the playing game.
And
And
he's the one that tips it.
yeah, he had the assist.
That's called karma.
That is
folks.
called. Yeah,
Well, we were
exactly.
talking.
You'll never live that down.
We were talking. I saw Corey Withers out there last night, and we were talking about how literally that's the first time Noah Brown's been mentioned in so many years. It's a very fitting. You leave the Cowboys, you get success.
And the thing is, it's like, you've got one job on a prevent. You have one job, and it's to not tip the ball in the air.
Knock the ball down. Knock the ball down.
That's what he gets.
All right, so I'm guessing you're not going with the Bears. I got the Cardinals.
I've got the Cardinals.
Josh, who you got?
I've got Bears, but this was the one I was most back and forth on when I was trying to decide.
Cardinals.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals. I think Kyler Murray's it, and I need them to win with my other super pick. Lions, Packers. I think this is a game. It looks like Jordan Love's going to play. I think the most important person that needs to play is not Jordan Love. It is Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs needs to be in the lineup. He says a Q right now. I need him in the lineup for a lot of reasons. Woo, good call. Hodge on the assist. We were about to go to commercial without even knowing it. I've got the Packers. No, actually, I circled the Lions. For the record, I circled the Lions. So I'm not changing it. I'm going to go with the Lions, but the Packers will be fun and make it
I've got
chaos.
the Lions also.
The Lions are the hottest team right now in the NFL, in my opinion. It's the Lions.
It's Lions.
Yeah, Lions.
I'm trying to make up for all the other ones that I'm not going to get.
Yeah, for switching. Yeah, I understand. Hey, I was undefeated in the NFL. That's all I care about. All right, final game, guys. I mean, I guess the benefit that you got going for, I mean, not a benefit. The road game, the Atlanta Falcons are the team I think that with the injuries to the Buccaneers are in a trajectory to kind of have a pretty good run and win the division. Cowboys, Falcons. Cowboys got a lot of issues. We know all of them. Who do you got?
The Falcons.
Falcons.
It's the one I didn't have to Google Falcons.
You know, it's obvious it's the Falcons, and it kills me. I wasn't playing where they're playing, but they're still showing up to the tailgate. So
Because we are loyal fans.
Yeah, we
We're
are.
not the Hodge Pack area. We're done.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to give them a chance to. No, I'm going to go the Cowboys. I'll go the Cowboys. You can listen to the Cowboys right here on 106.9, the Country Giant. Be sure you check the Cowboys out. Check out November 12th. Tables, do whatever. Just show up, 7 o'clock registration. Miguel's providing the breakfast. Potosi Live providing the venue, the people, and the stories that you'll get to hear. And that's the thing. When you're passionate about something, it's a game changer. And so, Moy, we appreciate you and Jennifer coming in for all the stuff that you do in this community. And definitely get out to Potosi Live and anywhere you go. But we appreciate you
we
being here.
appreciate y'all having us. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you for
very
being
much.
here.
All right, November 12th, be there or be square. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, can y'all send me a picture of that flyer? And I'll put it on our social media. Or if y'all have a digital way.
Are we going to get a picture before they leave?
Oh, yes, sorry. I have to pee.
I could tell.
So I'm like, yes, let's get a pic.
Yeah, I need
You just want one of these?
Very good.
Or
Yes,
you want,
leave
you
one.
want it?
Yeah, leave it and I'll just take a
See
picture of
if
it.
there's a digital.
I just
version
take it with
somewhere.
Billy.
Do you have a digital?
Okay, yeah, if you'll text it to me. Okay. What are we doing? Are we selfie in this situation?
I
Oh,
think
this.
it was better when you did that.
How did I do that last time? Yes, I did. Did I?
Dr. McCain's down for a month, but she gets back Monday. And I texted Greg not too long ago, we just need to get this stuff lined up, because she asked me right before she left, she was like, when are we doing the radio?
Yeah,
So that's good, that she's asking me.
Yes.
So we need to
Okay,
strike all the irons hot.
scoot back and then get ready. We got 10 seconds.
Everything pretty demanding, I'm not gonna lie.
Go this way, go this way. Okay, right here,
Is it gonna
go.
zoom in?
I don't know. I'll zoom it in.
All right.
It'll be fine.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna make it work.
Good to see you.
Oh, yeah, and it's fine that way. Yeah. Bye. Good to
Okay,
see you all.
see you.
Yes, I'm gonna try to make it
All right,
out
guys,
there.
see you later. See you.
Yeah, that's some of our CFA folks. All right, bye. Bye. Yep. I'm gonna pee and hit the road.
Okay.
If you enjoy the Potosi Live experience yet, if not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around. With amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch.
Yeah, we have our annual luncheon on the 13th, which is like the Super Bowl for us.
Oh, yeah.
Big, huge
All right, I
luncheon,
know.
like 600 people. So we're going to like get all of like our stuff out of storage.
Oh, I know. Okay,
So-
I know.
I'm like, I'm sorry, but I just feel like I need to be there to help them get all that stuff. Okay. Good luck tomorrow. I know you'll do great.
Thank you.
See you later.
We've actually tried personal injury cases to jury verdicts. When you find yourself in need of a personal injury, make sure to ask your self-described personal injury trial lawyer if they've ever even tried a personal injury case to a favorable jury verdict. Then, if you'd like a sincere opinion on your personal injury case, call me, Trace Burke, at 677-4777.
Hey, this is Kyle King with Mulligan Sports Bar and Grill. We just wanted to invite you out this football season every Saturday and Sundays. Come watch your favorite college team on Saturdays on 15 different TVs. Wear any kind of college swag and receive $10 domestic buckets, $2 domestic drafts. All you have to do is wear a hat or a shirt or anything. The same deal goes for Sundays for the NFL. Wear your favorite team's gear and get the same specials. And don't forget, we are the official Dallas Cowboys watch party headquarters. We'd love to see you there. Mulligan Sports Bar and Grill, 1166 Ben Ritchie Drive.
There is no way I can qualify for a home loan.
Don't play the guessing game. Call Coleman County State Bank today and speak to a mortgage expert. They're local and make decisions fast, so you don't miss out on your dream home. CCSB's experienced team will walk you through every step of the mortgage process. Visit colemanbank.com to make your next move.
Equal housing lender. Member.
And First Bank and Trust. Our story started in 1996, and it continues because of you, our customers, our communities, and our neighbors. We are proud to be a small part of your success. But where does your story start? Where do you want to go? Whether starting a business, saving for the future, or launching your ideas to the next, we want to help you take your first steps to think big. Call or email one of our bankers today. At First Bank and Trust, we see potential, ideas, innovation, growth everywhere.
Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Live. And hope you're having a great time, a great Friday morning, again, November 1st, Hodge, Misty, and Josh. Don't forget you can download, subscribe, rate, review on the Hodge Pack everywhere you can get podcasts. Check it out. Again, if you want to go back and listen, check out the great Breakfast of Champions for the Special Olympics coming up on November 12th at Potosi Live. Again, we appreciate Moy and Jennifer coming in to talk about that. Appreciate Chloe and all those listening to us. Again, download, subscribe, rate, review. Go listen to the podcast. We appreciate that. And, of course, go like both Facebook pages, the Hodge Pack, and if you've not already liked our KLGD Facebook page. Go check that out as well. Lots to cover, lots of things going on. I've got some takes that I've got for the NFL that we've had. Misty and Josh had some meetings, so they're going to do some other things. So anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have our Big Country Like My Town segment. Head football coach from Sweetwater, Russell Lucas, got the Mustangs rolling in the right direction. Got some big going to Breckenridge, and then of course Jim Ned next week in the bowl. They're doing a great job, and of course I'll wrap up the show talking some NFL, my thoughts in New Orleans, and all the things. But when we come back, Coach Russell Lucas on our Pest Patrol phone line and our Big Country Electric My Town segment.
That's what your Touchstone Energy Cooperative makes possible every day by providing the energy our community needs to stay connected to work, to family, to everyone and everything that matters. Day and night, we're always here because we know that of all the connections we make, none are more powerful than the human connection.
For the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative, call, stop, Roby Snyder, and Stanford, or visit online at bigcountry.com.
Hello, Abilene in the Big Country. My name is John Key. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art safe and secure facility. We are the DRI shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of the most private documents for any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
New Happy Thursdays by Brokers, a non-carbonated refresher with alcohol for liver any day of the week. Like when you get a case of the Monday, swap it for the bright fruit flavors of Happy Thursday. Or when Tuesday needs a tune-up, look forward to Happy Thursday. And by Wednesday, you're already halfway there. So drink in the weekend flavor of Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday Spiked Refreshers. Weekend flavor any day of the week. Sell your chocolate, non-carbonated.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better Home in Abilene. For over 30-40 years, Lawrence Home in Abilene has been the place to find the best in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. Feel free today. Great products and great service too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHomeAbilene.com. Go to Abilene's best new car dealer for 28 years. How you like that?
Hey, Coach, can you hear me?
Have you enjoyed Toasted Live?
Hey, how's it going?
If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres
Good. Got a couple commercials, and then we'll be ready to roll. So, all right, we got the old Buckaroos tonight, still undefeated in district, correct? Nice, good. Yeah, it's been a wild morning. I've got Taylor Electric stuff going on. I got radio on, and it's all things. So, but anyway, so old Bo Barnes making a hand for y'all. Little Merkel Sweetwater action. DJ Bo. Oh, it's pretty funny. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm in a fantasy football league with Tyler and your son and all the Cooper coaches and some other folks. We get some fun interaction texting when you get one of those fantasy football texts. It's pretty comical. I got invited to that league and was playing in a golf tournament while the draft was going and was having to draft away from the deal. And needless to say, my team has, fortunately, I don't have 35 kickers, but it's pretty rough.
Overwhelmed by the mortgage qualification process? Call Coleman County State today, excelling in customer service and offering competitive products and rates. Their experienced team will walk you through every step of the mortgage process. Visit colemanbank.com and PSB get you home.
Equal Housing Lenders, FDIC.
All right, we got one more commercial. welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. When you hear that, you know it's time for our Big Down segment, brought to you by Big Country Electric Cooperative. They're taking care of their members each and every day out of Roby and Stanford, and they are our sponsor for this. And joining us on our Pest Patrol phone line, a familiar guest of the show, and that is Coach Russell Lucas from Sweetwater. Coach, you've gotten used to the red. You've been there a little bit. No more green. Got a lot of red. And Coach, it's good to have you this morning. Well, it's a crazy time. The weather's actually probably starting to feel like fall football weather as opposed to 98 degrees in October, and now we're hitting November, and it's kind of crazy how fast. I don't know what your thoughts are, but the speed of this football season, to where 2 weeks left in the regular season, and where a lot of things start coming down to the wire, and just kind of where you feel you're at. I saw you at the chamber banquet, and you were kind of getting things rolling, still getting used to each other, and now in district play, and it seems like the Mustangs have got things rolling.
Yeah, we had a really difficult non-district schedule, and put some loss there in our non-district schedule. Fortunately, we had some injuries to go along with that. We've gotten really, we've been challenged. We've had to work it out with some adversity, and I really think that non-district schedule has helped us put us in a position that when we got in this challenging district, that we prepared for that. So we're, as slowly but sure, getting some guys healthy, getting some guys back on the field, and kind of coming together. Some things are working out just at the right time, so we feel pretty good about where we're at right now.
Now, how much do you think, when you look at, you've got some folks, there's some teams that probably are, every Friday night's not easy, but there's some that you should prepare for all of them, and you respect all of them. But how much do you think that non-district schedule got you ready, especially for the stretch that you had starting last week, 2 weeks ago with Comanche, Clyde, and of course now Breckenridge tonight with Jim Ned at the end of it? The district that you're in, everybody looks at that Holly and Cisco, and it's a very tough district. But the 3A Division I district that you're in is definitely no cakewalk.
There's challenges there. Every team has different strengths, and they're all well coached, and so you're right. It is a challenge every week, and that's one of the reasons we did put together the schedule that we did, so we could be challenged. Anytime you play good people, they're going to exploit your weaknesses, so you get a chance to find out what you need to work on, where you need to grow, and we definitely did that in our non-district schedule. So I think it prepared us. I think it helped us. It's still been a challenge. We got good teams, and Breckenridge is 0-8 right now. I thought we were spiritual on this. I think they may be the best 0-8 team. They've got some talented kids on the team, and I just hope they'll figure it out this week.
Right, yeah. Well, so you're starting year 4 at Sweetwater, correct? So how much do you think that's kind of, you had a long time at Hamlin and understanding what Piper football was about. Now you've got that here in, Coach Patterson at ACU talked about year 3 was important. Are you seeing that starting to get a lot more familiarity with how you run things and kids buying in, and how big is that as year 4 rolls into maybe a little struggles at the beginning, but now year 4 understand, hey, we're going to get this right. We're going to get things going the right way.
Right. Well, I think continuity is huge in success. Anytime you can have that carry over, you just, these seniors, I'm not coaching them since they've been in high school. Our juniors, they were in the 7th grade when I came here. Our freshman and sophomore, I'm going to coach they've ever known. It's the only way they know how to do it, so they don't know any different. I think this is the way you've always done it and the way we're supposed to do it. So that plays into part of the success, and that we begin to trust you. They've seen you be successful. Last year was a huge step for us. We probably outperformed what everybody thought we could do last year, and so that gives you credibility in the stuff that you're doing, and the things you kind of put in place, whether it's the off-season or character development or accountability or running track, all those things. When you have success, it just gives you credibility, and so I'm sure there was some waiver at the beginning of this year when we lost one that we shouldn't have probably, and then lost a couple of tough ones, and I'm sure there will be some maybe even coming on team that we're saying, well, maybe we should put more time into something else besides the thing we're doing. And then now we're starting to I think it's like the big picture. It does help that continuity.
Well, and one of the things that people think, oh, well, Sweetwater dropped, and so it's going to be this, and it, it should be easy and all that. And I'm sure you've learned and getting the kids to understand, hey, it's big country football, Texas high school football in this area on all classifications are difficult. What was that transition like on getting the guys to understand, hey, yeah, enrollment may be this, but we still got to be ready to go play?
Well, fortunately, we compete in track and stuff like that with a lot of these schools. We played in the past in our non-district schedule. We played in other sports, basketball, and we play them 7-on-7. And so, like we were completely unfamiliar, and our kids were aware that they have talent on their teams. And, but, sometimes it's the adults that have a harder time understanding that, people in the community just sometimes say, well, we're going to go 3A. That means we're going to be state champions because they don't want to play football in 3A or whatever they may be this week in 4A. But we all know that's not true. They're varsity football players. They have practice every day. They're trying to win as well. And so it's a challenge. It's different. It's a different size numbers. We said we played the other night with 24 Mustangs on our sideline. And, Comanche and Clyde are not that different from us. Whereas if we were playing Graham and Hershey and some of those schools, I mean, they're sending over 50 and 60 kids on the sideline. And 2-3 set varsity teams, that's where we're seeing the main difference.
Well, and you talked about taking on Breckenridge tonight, 0-8, but best 0-8 team in the state. How do you try to make sure to tunnel vision a little bit and not get kids looking to November 8th and the Gymnet Indians coming to the bowl? Y'all had the big win at Comanche. So how do you kind of say, hey guys, it really doesn't matter about Gymnet if we don't take care of tonight?
Right. Well, again, going back to our non-district schedule, there's some games in there that we were just realizing for a kid that it was going to be a challenge for us to win the game. We're glad we just didn't really match up with them. Not that we're not trying to win and all that kind of stuff, but we have the mindset that it really doesn't matter who our opponent is, how good or bad they are. Our goal is to get better every week and to prepare ourselves to be in the playoffs. And regardless of who our opponent is, regardless of their behavior, regardless of their talent level, regardless of the success or failure of the previous play, it's always the next play mentality. We're just trying to get better every week. And so Breckenridge is just a tool. We got to use it for what it is. It's a game. It's an opponent on our schedule. We're using it to get better. We're focused on what's right in front of us. We're focused on ourselves. We perform the best of our ability. And that's how we approach it all year long, not just this week.
Well, and I think the other thing that you got to put into play is I think every road game brings that possibility. Every road game brings, how do you travel? How do you do all those things? And so how, kind of what does that road travel look like? What does a road game look like for y'all? But then also we're starting to see, we mentioned it, weather could be different. Weather could be a factor over the next few weeks, but even possibly tonight. So how does a road game look different for the Mustangs today as y'all get ready to head to Breckenridge?
Well, we didn't have a home contest this year until mid-September because the way it fell with our realignment, both of our scrimmages were on the road and our first 2 games were on the road. And so we were a month on the road for our competition. And so we got well versed in loading the bus and carrying our equipment and, how we run the bus, how was the dressing room look like on the road, and how do we give our kids nutrition when we're on the road, what our meals have to look like, what times do we do. There's a lot of this stuff that goes into that, and we got a good dose of that right out the gate. And so I feel like we're in good shape there. Also, we've got a lot of kids that played varsity football last year, and so that helps. They traveled with us last year. Excuse me. And in the playoffs, we had in the playoffs, so you're always on the road in the playoffs, and so preparing to know how to do that. Weather sometimes can be a great equal. If you're the underdog, sometimes that can be in your favor. When we talk about weather, we just always refer to it as our advantage. Whether it actually is or not, we convince our kids that whatever the weather conditions are, perfect weather for what we do.
Well, and I hope it is a perfect night again for the Mustangs, because I know you guys do a great job. I know y'all do way more than kids how to play football, and so I do appreciate you taking the time. I know Fridays are busy, whether it's a home game, road game. You probably got heck, you might have a Lions club, or there's no telling what the Friday looks like for Coach Lucas. So I appreciate you taking the time this morning. Always gracious with your time, and so hope you guys take care of business tonight and keep things rolling there for the Mustangs. All right, again, that's Coach Russell Lucas, head football coach at Sweetwater, getting ready to take on the Buckaroos tonight. When we come back, we'll look at the week of the NFL that has passed, and you just can't tap out. I don't want to ask Coach Lucas on the phone what he had done with Anthony Richardson, so we're going to let him go. We'll be back right after this.
TV, mobile phone, or devices.
Coach, I appreciate
Let's
it.
say your Touchstone Energy Cooperative is in the business.
All right, thanks. We'll see you, Coach.
And everyone and everything that's essential. Day or night, we're always here, making life easier. Because when all is said and done, of all the connections we make, none are more powerful than the human connection.
You are the most important part of Big Country Electric Cooperative. Call, stop by our offices in Roby, Snyder, and Stanford, or visit online at bigcountry.coop.
Hello, Abilene in the Big Country. My name is John Key. I am a resident at Disability Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredding business. Our services include routine pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art, safe, and secure facility. We are the DRI shredders, and we are here to assist and serve you in the destruction of your most private documents or any of those annoying boxes that have stacked up over the years. Give us a call, 325-232-6918. Come on out and see us at 3602 North Clack Street. You'll be glad you did.
New Happy Thursdays Spike Refreshers, a non-carbonated refresher with alcohol for weekend for any day of the week. Like when you get a case of the Mondays, swap it for the bright fruit flavors of Happy Thursday, or when Tuesday needs a tune-up. Look forward to Happy Thursday. And by Wednesday, you're already halfway there. So drink in the weekend flavor of Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday Spike Refreshers. Weekend flavor any day of the week. Celebrate chocolate, not carbonated, natural flavor, butter, natural flavor. 21 out of 25 off. First and foremost, import service, and legal walking strong again.
Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol, Pest Patrol. In a big, bright yellow truck coming to your door. Pest Patrol.
Hi, I'm Weldon Hurst. And we've been protecting homes and businesses for 30 years right here in the Big Country. If you need service or just have questions, call or text 335-673-6700.
The big bright yellow truck coming to your door. Pest Patrol.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall and Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall and Abilene has been the place to find the best in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. That is still true today. Great products and great service too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us. We're shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbilene.online.com. We're at Abilene's best new car dealer for 28 years. Why you, my customer?
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet? If not, you're missing one of the best atmospheres around, with amazing food, great drinks, live music, TVs to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell your friends about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 1750 for the Potosi Live experience.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley. Here at Abilene, folks have lots of options for eating out. Large chains, locally owned mom and pops like us. I want you to know we look appreciate your business and are always ready for wonderful food, service, and prices. So we listen to you and have updated our menu, bringing back old favorites like nachos and fajitas, and adding more small plates for the light appetite. So come see us. I want to hear you say, yum, yum.
West Plumbing, Heating, and Air is your trusted heating and air conditioning specialist. With cooler temperatures arriving at your months right around the corner, our goal is to ensure your home or office stays warm and comfortable. Contact us today and ask about our winter heating inspection. For a free consultation or to schedule a service appointment, visit us at LaxPlumbing.com.
Jerry Jones joining us now here at the Shop and Furniture. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
For over 10 years, Fat Matt Roofing has been serving Abilene and the Big Country area with integrity and excellence. We're committed to providing the highest professionalism and quality roofing solutions so you can rest assured we're not just roofers. We're part of the community. Fat Matt Roofing is proud to support local charities and initiatives all around our area. Need your roof or minor repair? Fat Matt does that. Visit fatmattdoesthat.com or call us today at 325-704-5139 for a free estimate.
Hey, this is Kyle King with Mulligan Sports Bar and Grill. We just want to invite you out this football season every Saturday and Sundays. Come watch your favorite college team on Saturdays on 15 different TVs. Wear any kind of college swag and receive $10 domestic buckets, $2 domestic drafts. All you have to do is wear a hat or a shirt or anything. The same deal goes for Sundays for the NFL. Wear your favorite team's gear and get the same specials. And don't forget, we are the official Dallas Cowboys watch party headquarters. We'd love to see you there. Mulligan Sports Bar and Grill, 1166 Bitchy Drive.
It must be right. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Life and everything in between as we get ready to send you into the weekend. Again, November 1st. Big weekend in college football, big weekend in high school football. Again, don't forget the Anson Tigers tonight. Taking on the Cisco Lobos, big game tonight, 7 o'clock in Anson. Tomorrow, 6:30 A&M versus South Carolina, of course, the Dallas Cowboys. This Saturday against the Atlanta Falcons. And as we look back, we haven't talked a whole lot about the NFL. Again, changed some stuff around with our picks. Again, don't forget to check out the Special Olympics Breakfast for Champions on November 12th out of Potosi Live. Again, we'll get that posted on our social medias and check them out. We'll look back at last week's games. Of course, the Dallas Cowboys lose again, fall to under 500 at 30-24 against the San Francisco 49ers. Competed a little bit, but just was not able to win on the road. And again, fall to 3-4. Dak still having a hard time throwing it to the other team. Another couple of set of interceptions in last weekend. But we start looking at what is surprising. And again, trade deadline is Tuesday in the NFL. Don't know if the Cowboys were going to try to do anything. I've seen some reports where possibly try to get Nick Chubb. I don't think that's the answer. We need a running back. I don't know if it's him. How healthy is he? So I don't think that's the answer. I think you've got to get healthy defensively. Could you go get some help on the defensive side? Again, 3-4, and we talked last week, take it or trash it. Are the Commanders the best team in the NFC East? It's starting to lean that way. The Commanders, we'll talk about that in a moment on the big win on the Hail Mary last week for them. Of course, the Commanders continuing to roll and do well in the NFC East. But the Cowboys, again, I think one of the things that we said this past week for our Black Plumbing social media question was Jerry has some confidence. Jerry has confidence in the fact that he has confidence in that the Cowboys have and can still have a storybook season. And we threw that out as our Black Plumbing social media question is what would that title be? What would the title be? Jerry Jones says that the Cowboys have a chance at a storybook ending season. Jacob says all in, same stuff, different year, written and illustrated by Jerry Jones. Tracer says only storybook ending would be Jones stepping down as GM. That's it, and we know that's not happening. Nightmare at AT&T, very fitting. Dr. Lawhon saying that last night. He's dreaming as usual from one of our listeners, Randy Burson. Of course, Robin Wareheim says Groundhog Day. And that's really probably what we're experiencing. Same show, same channel, unfortunately the same result. And I mentioned, I don't know on the schedule for the Dallas Cowboys where, without turning things around, getting some defensive takeaways, I think that's one of the things we've got to stop. We got to start winning the turnover battle. The Cowboys are not winning the turnover battle. They're giving it up way too much. But same story, same channel, Groundhog Day on repeat. You look at the next few weeks. It's 2 losses in a row after beating a before Russell Wilson Pittsburgh Steelers team. I don't know if we would beat the Steelers today with Russell Wilson at the quarterback. But now you start looking. Here's your next set of games for the Cowboys. On the road at Atlanta, I've already mentioned, playing well. Kyle Pitts starting to get involved more in the offense with Kirk Cousins. They go to the Falcons. And then you got 2 home games, which we've obviously seen that we've still not won a home game in 2024. You've got Philadelphia coming to town and then the Houston Texans. Now, will the Houston Texans make some adds and some additions and get better, maybe help out with Nico Collins be back? Will they get an addition for Stephon Diggs? Or the biggest struggle there is you're going to have to, can you stop Joe Mixon when he comes to town on those 2 days? Monday Night Football will be there, Houston again. And then the Commanders, you go on the road to the Commanders, and then you get the Giants at home. And I don't know, unless things get turned around, the next win for the Cowboys may not be until November 28th, Thanksgiving Day, when the Giants come. I don't look at it. Then you skip, and then you go to the Bengals. We have 3 wins right now. What I'm saying, all right, we're 3-4. All right, Falcons, that's 5th loss. Eagles, 6th loss. Texans, 7th loss. 8th loss with the Commanders. And you know when you're losing those 2 Eagles and Commanders, you're falling farther away from the division to have a playoff shot. And then the Giants probably have a chance to win that one. You've already beat them once. And then the Bengals come to town. Panthers, Buccaneers, Eagles, Commanders. I don't see, just looking, unless this story, if you will, this storybook turnaround, this make into a movie instead of a disaster is not looking very good. Let's read a few more of these. Hunter just said, LOL. Patty says, yeah, well, I'd like to know which one. I love my boys, but man, she would take anything. Tammy, the never-ending story, dedicated to all the fans that never, ever give up, by Jerry Jones. 3J Posey Farm says, here we go. I don't know where we're going, but here we go. Josh, fart and fall down. That's pretty much pay by Jerry Jones, forwarded by Rain Dakota Prescott. Charles Sire says, what do you expect? I've got to sell tickets. MGD, how to know someone is delusional. And then Chris Topant's not a chance. And so it'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys do. I picked them. Maybe they'll find a way to win. But a lot of things have got to be well, and it doesn't look good when you sign the big contract and statistically leadership things struggle. And, of course, the defense is a losing, not having Parsons or Lawrence is big. So we'll see what happens there. I do want to address the Anthony Richardson. We had a fart and fall down. A couple of brain farts that happened last week. One was Anthony Richardson, one of the top draft picks, same class as Bryce Young. Drafted, things are going well. Injury last year, back, and is playing last week. And instead of giving it all he's got, next thing you know, he's pulling himself out, saying he's tired, pulling himself out. And it has led to being benched. Joe Flacco has now become the new starting quarterback for the Colts, and it looks like he's going to be for the foreseeable future, at least for the rest of this season. And so very interesting situation there in Indiana and Indianapolis to see, hey, did we mess up? Did we get this wrong? And now we're starting to see even trade talks for Bryce Young. When you start drafting these guys, and because there are some right or wrongs. We're seeing C.J. Stroud right. We're seeing Jaden Daniels right. I would say even maybe some pushback. We're seeing Caleb Williams being right. We're seeing Bo Nix being right. Drake May played pretty well last week. So when you start seeing these quarterbacks in that first round, you better be sure you get it right. And the Colts will be looking now to Joe Flacco as the starting quarterback. And I'm going to end it with this. Jameis Winston, I said last week, might take it or trash it. Jameis Winston would be this year's version of Joe Flacco, taking the Browns to the playoffs, gets his first win as a starter for the Browns last week, and went through a drive-through and had some. He's great for media, and so we'll see how the Browns do this week. Don't forget, Anson Tigers tonight playing Cisco, Texas A&M taking on South Carolina tomorrow night, and of course the Dallas Cowboys right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. Hey, we appreciate you. We appreciate Moy and Jennifer coming in. Don't forget the Special Olympics breakfast on November 12th. Don't forget also Coach Russell Lucas and the Sweetwater Mustangs. Appreciate him joining us. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to fall back. We'll be back next week with more Hodge Pack, Sports Life, and everything in between.